First and foremost, I want to welcome you to the third release of KCD's Dealer Portal. We are very excited about this version because not only is the website functioning better, but we've also been able to make several enhancements with this release. For this version, we really focused on rebuilding the site's backend, or what we call the engine, which has helped reduce bugs, but it's also given us more flexibility to add new features going forward. Since this video is for new and existing customers with varied experience using Dealer Portal, I'm going to walk you through the basic navigation of the site, different ways to order, and I'll also point out any new features we've added along the way. So the first screen you see here is the login page. For existing users, there's nothing we've changed. It's the same login, email, and password, so you should have no problem getting in. For new dealers, if you have not received an email from KCD with your login information, then please email us and we can handle that for you. But you should get that email through the dealer setup process. One new thing about this website is that we can now set up multiple users per company with their own login information. So what that means is each user in your company, if you have multiple that order for you, they can each have their own cart. They still share all of the same billing, transactional, order information, but this means that they can order separately from each other. Now, one thing to remember when requesting this is that whoever you allow to have access to your account will see all of your billing information. So just make sure that it's someone that you trust and who is currently placing orders for you. Now, how to request multiple users. All you have to do is send an email to dealerportal@kcdus.com. In that email, you need to include the contact name, phone number, and email address for the person or people that you want to add accounts for. So when we log into this site, which I'll go ahead and do, you're going to see at the bottom that there's a forget password option. And for that option, if you forgot your password, you'll simply just click that and it will send you an email link with a way to reset it. KCD doesn't hold on to password information, especially if you change it yourself for security purposes. So we keep that locked down pretty tight. So your password is totally up to you to remember and hang on to. So when I log in, the initial page that it takes us to is our account page. So this shows us our transactional data and any of our settings that we have. So as you can see under orders, we've got sales orders, quotes, and returns. So you can navigate through those. Under layouts, it'll list any layouts that you've created, and I'll explain layouts here in just a minute. Under billing, it's going to have your account balance, invoices, you can print statements, all of that is under billing. And then under settings, you've got profile information, your addresses, credit cards, you can update your password here. And the only thing I'll say is on profile information, this is like the main information for your account. So it's your company name, your phone number, your email address. We don't allow you to change that information because it is the main information for your account. So if you need to update any of that, all you have to do is email customer care at kcdus.com and we'll take care of it for you. So if we scroll to the top of the page, we've got a blue bar at the very top, and to the right we see our company name. Mine is Mindy's Cabinet Company. Right next to that there's a down arrow, and if you click on that, this is the quick links section. So basically, if you want to access a specific part of the website directly, this is where you can do it. So let's say you're in the middle of placing an order and you want to go look at one of your quotes. You come up here to the drop down and then you go directly to quotes, and that will take you directly to your quote section. So this again is just a quick link option for you. Oh, and it also is the sign out. So if we ever tell you to go ahead and sign out and sign back in, this is where you'll do it. To the right of that, you're going to see your cart. Right now it says I have 4 items in my cart, and if I click on that, At the bottom here, you can either view cart or checkout. I'm going to go ahead and view cart just so you can see how to clear your cart. So once I click on view cart, it's going to show me everything I've added to my cart. And I can still make changes here, so I can remove items, change quantities, etc. But at the very bottom of that, there's an option to clear your cart. If I click on that, it'll ask me to confirm that that's what I want to do. And then I'll remove all the items from my cart. So now you can see above my cart says 0. Directly under the cart, you're going to see a search box. So in the search box, you can type in an item SKU, you can type in a keyword, however you want to locate your item. Underneath that, you've got quick order. So quick order is if you know all of the item numbers that you want to order, you don't need to look any up, and you just need to enter them. So it's entering item SKUs and quantities. This is when you'll select quick order. It's a very easy and fast way to put in an order. And we'll go through that here in just a moment. To the left of quick order, you're going to see cabinets and accessories and miscellaneous samples. Under cabinets, if you click down, you're going to see all of the cabinet lines that we offer. So if you're trying to place an order, all you'll need to do is come here, locate the cabinet line, and click on it. When you click on it, it's going to take you to the product detail pages for that cabinet line. To the left here, you can see that you can sort by wall cabinets, base cabinets, tall cabinets, etc. To the right, you're going to see the title for the cabinet line you're in, and you're also going to see a snapshot of a door for that product line. And that's just so that you can make sure that you're in the correct cabinet line when you're ordering. Below that, you're going to find the images for each individual product for that cabinet line. As you can obviously tell, you can add to your cart from here. So you've got options there. But one thing I want to point out is there's 2 other options. If you click Quick View, you can also add to your cart from here, or you can add to your layout. And then you also have an option up here to view full details for that product line or product or cabinet. Now I'm going to take you a different way to see the same information. So in order to see the full details for that cabinet, I'm going to click X, and I'm going to click on the image. This takes you to a full page for that cabinet. So if I scroll down, you can also order from this screen as well. So add to cart, add to layout. But below that, you're going to see that we have other options. So we've got the product overview, which gives specifics about the cabinet, what it's made out of, the glazing, interior finish, etc. To the right of that is going to be your construction details. And then next to that is dimensions. We have a lot of customers that call in and ask for dimensions, not realizing that they're actually on dealer portals. So this is how you can go see that. Just go click on the image of the item you want to view and then scroll down to the bottom. That's where you're going to find dimensions. So one navigational tip for you is anytime you're anywhere on the website and you want to get back to My Account, that initial page, all you have to do is click on the logo. By clicking on the logo, it's basically a go to home button. Anywhere in the website, the logo will be present and you can click on it. So if you need to get back to the beginning, that's what you click on. So I'm going to take you real quick through the quick order process. So I'm going to click on quick order and we're going to go through the whole checkout process so you can see the full way to place a quote or sales order. So under quick order, the first thing you've got here is quick add. So I'm going to add some products to my order here. You can increase some quantities if you like. And one thing I want to point out with this one is that if in Shaker White we have the option for 5-piece, you're going to see that 5-piece indicator above the image, just like you do slab. So this is a new feature for this release because we had customers getting confused which thing they were ordering. So this really calls it out and lets you know, hey, you're ordering slab or you're ordering 5-piece. So I'm going to add a couple more items so we can build up our first order. Okay, so we have some items in our cart and we're going to check out. Now, I know you see this switch cabinet lines option here. I'm going to skip that for now and I'm going to go over that here in a minute. But for now, we're going to proceed to checkout. So this is the part that takes you through the full checkout process. This is also where you're going to be able to tell the website if you want to save the order as a quote or a sales order. So the first thing we're going to do is put in our PO number. Under that, you've got the option for flat or assembled. If you choose flat, nothing happens. You go down, you select your delivery information, your shipping information, and the process is normal. If you select assembled, this is a new feature that we do have, is under assembly notes, you're going to have hinge placement. So this lets you choose whether you need hinge left or hinge right on certain cabinets. Now in assembly notes, since we do not have modifications on this release, any modifications you need to make will need to be listed in the assembly notes. So for example, I'll just put modification notes. Underneath that, you will go in and change your hinge options if necessary. If you want them all hinge right, then you just leave them. As you change the hinge left column, the hinge right column auto updates, so you won't have to worry about your quantities changing. So if you ordered 1, it will always equal 1. If you ordered 3, it will always equal 3. Below that, you've got your delivery methods. So under delivery method, you've got the option for delivery or pickup. I'm going to select delivery. You've got a requested ship date option. So this is really just to say, hey, this is when I would really like my order to be delivered. That doesn't necessarily mean we can do it. Once we receive the order on our end, and this really goes for assembled orders, we will take a look at our assembly schedule and make sure that we can get it out on the day you requested. If we are unable to, we will definitely reach out to you and let you know that that date can be accommodated. Below that, you've got shipping options. So the first one is residential delivery. That one's pretty self-explanatory. But what's changed in this release is that anytime you select residential delivery, it's going to auto-select liftgate. And the reason for that is because for residential delivery, if we're delivering to a home, most of the time, actually mostly all of the time, they don't have a dock height option. So our LTL carriers have to make sure they have a lift gate to get the pallet to the ground. So that's why we auto select lift gate, because residential delivery requires that. Next to that is limited access, and what that is really for is for construction zones, or it's for gated communities where there's a PIN code or something like that. That's what limited access is. Below that, which is another new thing for this release, is a call ahead information. So if you're having your order delivered and you need a call ahead from the LTL carrier before they deliver, you can put that contact name and number there. So what I will do is put in my name and a phone number, and that will send to the carrier once they get your order and say, please call this person 1 to 2 hours before delivery. So underneath that is calculate shipping. Now, before you calculate shipping, you need to verify your shipping address. We tried to put calculate shipping after the shipping address, but with the way the platform was built, that wasn't possible. So what I would suggest is that you always come down and check your shipping address first. You can change your address if you need to, or you can create a new one. But that's one thing that you want to verify. And then you'll come back up and click calculate shipping. The portal will give you all of your shipping options based on what you ordered. If you ordered a touch-up kit or something small, you will see FedEx options as well. But these are your ordering option or your LTL options and the price for your order. So at that point, you will select whichever carrier you want to go with, and you will scroll down. And underneath that is where you'll have the option to either create a quote or place an order. So I'm going to choose create a quote. Under that is your billing address information. And then you can go down and click continue. Now by clicking continue, this doesn't place the quote or the sales order. What this does is takes you to a review page. And that's the same whether you're doing a quote or a sales order. You will always have this review page in order to make sure that the order is right before you place it. So on the review page, it gives you all the details about your order, your PO number, address, delivery information. It's got all of your items. You can still edit your cart. Underneath that, it's got your assembly notes that you entered. It's got your hinge placement options and then your payment information. And then if you scroll back up to the top, you're going to see the summary on the right-hand side. And then if everything looks good, you can click on Create Quote. If you're placing an order, obviously that button will say please place order. So when you create a quote, it doesn't give you a confirmation screen. What it does is it takes you directly back to your list of quotes. And that's just so you can take a look and verify that your quote came through, it's listed there, and it's good to go. So a lot of customers don't realize this, but once you create a quote, if you come back 3 days later and you're ready to check the quote out, you don't have to email KCD in order to do that. So as you can see, it took me back to my quotes, and the one I just placed is right here on top. So if I click on the quote, it's going to take me directly into the quote. And from there, as you can see, you can verify your items and your checkout details. But on the right-hand side, you've got the option to review and place order. So with quotes, you aren't able to make any changes once you've submitted it. If you do need to make changes to a quote, you need to email dealerportal@kcdus.com or customercare@kcdus.com. We can make those changes for you. They will reflect on this end. Unless there's modifications, you won't see those on the dealer portal. But otherwise, any changes that we make to your quantities or adding or deleting items, you will be able to see here. But if no changes are needed, all you have to do is click review and place order. The next screen will take you to the review screen, and you'll be able to check out your order and make sure you've got it how you want it. Again, here's that sentence with the call ahead contact. This is what our carriers see. You'll see all your shipping details. And then at the very bottom or at the very top, you'll have the option to place the order. So I'm going to go ahead and place this order. So for orders, it does give you a confirmation screen. When you do a quote to sales order, it will tell you, thank you, we received your order. If you click on the blue text, your order, it will take you directly back to that sales order. If you choose to just navigate back to it, you'll click on the logo. Under orders, you'll go to sales orders. And as you can see, my recent sales order is the first one in the list. To the right, if you have tracking information for any of your orders, it'll be listed here, and it'll also tell you the status of the order. Pending approval just means that KCD needs to look at it on our end and verify the date that we ship it and that everything looks good, and then we mark it as approved. So if you click on the sales order itself, there is one change in this release to some options for your sales orders. So let's say that you've placed this order before and now you have a new client that wants pretty much the same kitchen and you just want to reorder that same order, you can now do that. This release will let you. So on the right, you're going to see an option here for reorder all items. If I click on that, it's going to take me to a page that shows me all of the items on that order. So if I want to reorder this order, all I have to do is add to cart for each item. If you want to change the quantities before you add it to the cart, you can do that. All you have to do is hover over the quantity, select the up arrow, and then add to cart. So you will select add to cart to every item that you want to order. Now, if there's 20 items, obviously that can get a little bit cumbersome, but it's still better than having to type them all in. One thing I'll look at doing is adding a select all button up here so that you can select everything and add them all at once. But right now, you'll just have to add each individual item. So if we go to the top, we can see that we have added all of those items to our cart. So one thing I want to point out, anytime you add anything to the cart this way or through layouts, always make sure you know what's in your cart first. So if you have a few items in your cart and you add to it, there's a potential that you might accidentally order something you didn't mean to. So just make sure you always know what's in your cart before you start adding to it. So if we go to our cart, now we can check out that order. So we'll go through the same checkout process, the PO number, shipping information, all of it. So that's one way you can reorder a previous sales order. I'm gonna go to view cart and clear my cart because I wanna make sure I don't add anything to this. And I'm gonna go back to the logo. So one other thing I wanted to show you for ordering purposes, if you go down to a cabinet line, and I'm going to choose Lennox Mocha. As far as inventory goes, if we are low in stock, you're going to see a low stock alert here. And that just means we have less than 10 in stock. If you see an on order alert, like this red one, that means we're completely out of that product. Now, if we are planning to get more in and we have an ETA, then it will show you an ETA for that item. So this is an example. This one has low stock, more arriving late February. So that's one way you'll be able to tell, what our inventory position is. Now, if there is nothing under an item, that means we're fully in stock, good to go. So that's one way you can tell where we are as far as inventory. The next thing I want to show you is layouts. So what layouts are is basically their product lists. So you can build a full list of products. You can take that list, you can add it to your cart, you can order it as a quote, you can order it as a sales order, you can order it multiple times, and it'll always be a layout unless you delete it. So under layouts, if you click on all my layouts, this will show you any layout that you've ever created. Now, if you want to delete a layout, you can still do that. So if you scroll to the right and click the down arrow next to edit, you can delete a layout. It will ask you to confirm, in which you can say yes. Now, from our previous users in our other releases, we had an option for open quotes. This is a great option to replace open quotes. With open quotes, they were the same thing. They were product lists that you could come back and edit over and over. However, once you took an open quote and you placed it as a quote or sales order, you could no longer touch it. With this option, it is always available as a layout, even if you check it out as a quote or sales order, it stays. So this is a much better option than having open quotes. So again, you can delete your layouts, you can edit your layouts, you can add to your layouts. It has a lot more flexibility. If you want to add the entire layout to cart, all you have to do is select add layout to cart and we'll add all those items to your cart. But first I'm going to show you how to create a layout. So you see an option here at the top that says create new layout. I don't suggest you use this option, mostly because all that does is it creates a layout template. And what I mean by that is it actually just creates a PO number and a layout, and that's it. So I put in a PO number for this layout, and I'm going to click Create Layout. So here's my layout right here, but by creating it this way, I don't have a way to add any items through this view. So what I'm going to show you is what I think is the better way to do it, and I'm going to delete this layout first. So the better way to create and add items to your layouts is to first go to the product line that you're looking for. So let's say you wanted to order a Brooklyn White. Find the first cabinet that you want to add to your layout. That's the very first step. When you do, let's say I want to order this Brooklyn White B15, I'm going to click on Quick View. Under Quick View, you have the option to add to my layouts. So if you click on that and scroll down, you're going to see at the bottom, there's an option to create a new layout. So the reason I like this option better, again, is because you're combining two steps into one. You're finding the product you want to add and you're creating it all at the same time. This is the only time you're going to have to choose to create it. After we create it, then all we have to do is add to it. So from here, I'm going to click on Create New Layout. I'm going to put in my PO number, and I'm going to double check that nothing else is check marked up here. Because what happens is if something is check marked up at the top under another layout, it's going to add that item to the layout. So you want to make sure that you only have the layouts checked that you actually want to add this item to. So I'm going to come down and select Create and Add Item. As soon as I do that, you can see it added that layout to the list and checked it, and also confirmed to us that the item was added to the layout. So after this, all we need to do is continue adding. So I'm going to X out of that. I'm going to go find the next item I want to add. Click on Add to My Layouts. Check the layout or layouts that I want to add this item to, so you can build multiple at the same time if you want. As soon as I check that, it confirms it. I'm going to X out, go find my next cabinet, add to my layouts, choose the layout I want to add it to, and it adds it. And I'm just going to put a few more items in here just to build it up a little bit more, so we can have a good little order built up. If you want to add multiple quantities, you can do that as well. And so once you have your layout built out, all you have to do is, again, click on the logo, go to your layouts, and then find your layout. So my layout was Layout Test 4. That's the one I just created. If I click on it, it takes me directly into it. From here, you can edit the items on the order. So if you added an item you didn't mean to, all you have to do is check the item that you want to delete, go up to add items to cart, but don't click on that. Click on the arrow right next to it. And there's an option to remove items. And that removed it from my product list. If I want to increase or change quantities, let's say I put 4 on this molding and I only meant to put 2, click on edit and change your quantities. And then hit save. So these are ways that you can update your product list once you add items to it. Now, to check out this layout, so if I want to order this layout, all I have to do is click Select All. If there's only certain items I want to order, then I just check the items individually that I want to add to my cart. So once you've selected all the items, you're going to go over to Add Items to Cart. And again, you want to make sure that you're not adding to anything that's already in your cart. You want to make sure that you're aware at all times of what you have listed there. And then once it adds all the items to your cart, it's going to give you that confirmation green screen that says, good, they were added. At this point, one thing I want to show you is, like, what if you ordered Brooklyn White, but you decided, you know what, I want to order this layout, but I want to order it in Napa White. The best thing you can do is select all again, add the items to your cart. You don't have to re-enter this layout if you're ready to order. You can simply go to your cart and change the cabinet line. So this is the option I was telling you about earlier that I said we would come back to, and now we're back to it. So let's say I ordered this in Brooklyn White, or I set my layout up in Brooklyn White, but now I want to quote it in Napa White. So under Switch Cabinet Lines, you're going to see 2 options. One is a from and one is a to. The from is going to be what you want to change from. So it's going to be, in this case, Brooklyn White. So I'm going to change the from to Brooklyn White. And then my to, let's say I wanted to change it to Napa White. Anything that it finds in my cart with a Brooklyn White, it's going to change to Napa White. Now, if you have Brooklyn White and Shaker White in your cart, it's not going to touch those Shaker White items. It's going to leave those alone. They'll stay the same. It's only going to change the items that are in the from. So when I click Switch Cabinet Lines, it's going to run through all of these items and switch them over to Napa White. Now, depending on your order, it could take a little bit longer than some other orders. So just give it a minute. It's literally checking stock. It's checking the cabinets to make sure that they've got the same cabinet available in the other line. So it's doing a lot of work in the back end. So what I would suggest is that you just hold tight and let it run. So as you can see, all the Brooklyn White items I had are now changed to Napa White. Really cool little feature. We did not have this before, so this is a good one that we've added. Once you do switch lines, it's going to reset your from and to. So you'll know really that it's done. So from here, I'm ready to check out. I've got them all switched to Napa, and now I'm going to click Proceed to Checkout. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through the checkout process, and we're going to check this out as a sales order. And I'm going to go back and show you that the layout is still there and ready to be used again. You can select flat or assembled. Your notes should go there. Choose left or right for eligible cabinets. Choose your delivery method and your requested ship date. Select any additional shipping options you might have for the address. Put in your contact information. Don't calculate shipping just yet. Remember, you've got to verify your shipping address, and then you can calculate shipping. You're going to select the freight carrier that you want to use. And then you're going to scroll down and decide if you want to create it as a quote or a sales order. I'm going to keep this one as a sales order. And then we're going to say continue. And remember, you get to review this before you actually place the order. So one tip I want to give you is, let's say that you want pricing, but you're not ready to place a quote or a sales order. The best way I can tell you to do this is to do what we just did. Create a layout, set up your product list so you have all your products in there. You would hate to add all the items to your cart just to get pricing and then delete the items from your cart and have to re-enter them again if your customer comes back and says, yeah, we want to go forward with this. So what I would suggest is you create that layout so you have that product list already built out and you don't have to re-enter the items. Once you create the layout, come here through the checkout process. Put in all your information and click continue and get directly to this review screen. Now from here, you do not have to click place order or place quote. You don't have to do either one of those. You can come here, look at your pricing, say, okay, I got it, and you can leave. The way you do that is you simply click the logo. And that will take you back to my account. That will stop the checkout process. So I'm going to click logo so you can see that. And as you can see, the items are still in my cart. And if I go down to layout, the layout's still available for use. So if I just wanted to see an example of what pricing might be for something, that's how I would do it. I would take it through the checkout process, get to the review page, and then hit the logo to get out of it. But again, if you build it as a product list in your layout, then if your customer likes the sound of the pricing, then you don't have to rebuild it again. You can come back, you can either change up this layout and then add it to your cart or add it directly to your cart and be able to check out. So at this point, I think we've covered all of the navigation and ways to order on this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have any questions about Dealer Portal or you don't understand how to use it, please reach out. We've got resources available for you and we'll be happy to help you with any questions. Thank you.